if you're somebody who is skinny, how quickly should you gain weight? So the first question I want to ask you is, do you even need to gain weight to begin with? So how you're going to do this is by finding your BMI. Now your BMI is essentially a ratio of how much you weigh to how tall you are. So when you go online, you can literally just type in BMI calculator. It will put in your height, it will put in your weight, and essentially if you're between 18.5 and 24.9, you're considered healthy from a BMI standard. Now, if you're below an 18.5 BMI, that means you are underweight. Of course, if you're over 24.9, that means you're overweight, but we're talking about if you are too skinny in this position. So find out if you are at a healthy weight. If you are at a healthy weight, you don't really need to worry about this at all. But if you are somebody who is underweight, there are some dangers, and these are one that I want to highlight before we look at some ways to gain weight smartly. Some of the dangers of being too skinny, of course, are extremely low energy, and this is usually because of two things. One, your hormonal regulation isn't going to be quite up to snuff. Your body's not able to produce hormones at an optimal level because you're not getting enough calories. And also because you're not getting enough calories, you're not going to have a lot of energy to do your activities of daily living, and of course your workouts if you're trying to do that as well. Decreased lean body mass is incredibly common if you are too skinny. I work with a lot of seniors and older adults who are very, very frail, and they are basically skin and bones, and because of this they have very low bone mineral density, they have low muscle mass, and both of those things are highly correlated with increased risk of dying early. So those are a huge health concern. So if you are in this underweight category, some ways to gain weight smartly is to see how far you are from that healthy body weight. If you're only like 5 pounds from actually being in that healthy category, you really don't need to push too hard at gaining weight. So for most individuals, I recommend trying to gain about 1% of their body weight every single week. So if you're somebody who weighs 130 pounds and you need to get up to 135 pounds, for example, to be in that healthy weight category range, when you're first starting out, only going to need to gain about 1.3 pounds per week. And then that's going to change, of course, week to week, but 1% of your body weight, that's going to be a healthy weight. This does two things. One, it limits your fat gain. Of course, we want to try to gain lean body mass. So when you're gaining weight, you are going to gain a little bit of fat. But if you're resistance training as well, which is what I would highly recommend, you're also going to be gaining some muscle and bone mass as well, which is incredibly important as we just discussed for longevity and overall health. So gaining 1% every single week is really crucial. Some tips to get in more calories if you feel like you just can't eat anything. Super easy one. Double down on the foods you enjoy. If you really like to eat popcorn and, let me think of something, for example, popcorn and apples. I don't know why, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Double down on those foods. The more you like those foods, the more you can eat them, and just double down on them. Triple down if that's all you really like. Also too, get in some high quality liquid calories. So this isn't something like drinking soda. This is more towards maybe making some smoothies for yourself. That's going to be a liquid calorie. You can try some protein shakes as well. That's also going to give you some good nutrients on top of getting some good protein in, which can help to build that muscle and strength. Of course, another great option too, if you're skinny and you're trying to get extra calories in, is to cook in healthy oils and lean on fats. So these are kind of the same thing. So if you're making chicken breast and some veggies, for example, toss on some canola oil or olive oil on the plate. That's going to add in some extra fat calories, which if you are eating in a small deficit and only gaining about 1% of your body weight every week, that's going to be great. That's kind of the whole point of this. Another great source of fats is nuts. So whether this is whole nuts like almonds, cashews, peanut butter is also a very easy way to get in a bunch of calories very rapidly and very quickly. But you do have to be careful with these. You don't want to eat too many of them. So use them sparingly when you start. track your weight for a couple weeks, and if you're gaining weight at that 1% of body weight every single week, then that's great. Just stick with it. If you're gaining weight a little too fast, maybe cut back on some of those extra fats. And then one of the last hacks is to eat more frequently. I know myself personally, if I eat fewer, bigger meals throughout the day, I feel way more full, versus if I snack throughout the day, I'm almost constantly hungry. And there's some individuals who are complete opposite, but if you struggle to get in a bunch of food, I would just highly recommend trying to eat more frequently throughout the day. This may be during times where you're not even particularly hungry, but just trying to get in a small snack if you are trying to get your body weight up is an incredibly easy way to do this. Go ahead and give this video a like so far if you are getting some good, useful ideas.